The Niners currently have one of the most electric players across the entire XFL in Jacour Peterson, but what do you need to know about the wide receiver who supposedly ran his 40-yard dash in 4.28 seconds? For comparison, Tyreek Hill ran his 40-yard time in a blazing fast 4.29. His size hasn't allowed a lot of teams to have a ton of faith in him. He's only about 5'7". In this video, I hope to go over Jacour Peterson's background and how Kyle Shanahan can definitely use him in the 49ers offense. Another aspect I just want to touch on briefly before I get going is that Kyle Shanahan knows how to use guys of all different sizes and people that a lot of teams just frankly wouldn't have an idea what to do with. An example is Deebo Samuel, and while Deebo Samuel is a great wide receiver, a lot of other teams wouldn't have been able to get the productivity the 49ers were. This is just to highlight that Kyle Shanahan understands how to work with players that don't fit the necessary mold of what their position says they have to be. So now that we understand why this is a good fit for Pearson, let's look at Pearson's career up to this point and why he might be a good fit for the 49ers. Jacour Peterson played a total of 5 years in college. His first 4 years was with the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers before having to switch to Ole Miss Rebels. When pressed on the issue about why he had to switch, Pearson just said he can't come up with the right words to talk about it. Across his college career, Pearson did prove to be highly productive. He totaled 131 receptions for 1,464 yards and 7 touchdowns during his college career. When you watch this film, he's one of the shiftiest players that I remember, and really he reminds me of a budget version of Dante Hall or the human joystick, or my personal favorite, the X Factor. In comparison to Pearson, Hall was 5'8", which is basically the same, and his weight was 187 pounds, which I imagine is similar. His 40-yard dash was also 4.29 seconds. Speaking of his 40-yard dash, let's speak about how Pearson performed at his Ole Miss Pro Day. And the biggest thing that stands out is his 40-yard dash. He still ran a solid 40-yard dash in 4.42 seconds, but where did that number 4.28 seconds come from? After his pro day experience, it looks like he actually was able to improve on his 40-yard time because his XFL coach, after he wasn't able to make it in the NFL because of his size, clocked him at his 4.28 seconds, and he's been highly rumored to clock him at this time. And when you watch him on the field, he looks like he runs a 4.28 seconds. In the XFL, he was able to show that he belonged on the football field and played opposite a former wide receiver, Josh Gordon. During his time with the Sea Dragons, Pearson earned the prestigious award of Offensive Player of the XFL, and he did this by leading the XFL with a total of 60 receptions for 670 yards and 4 touchdowns. Pearson proved to be one of the most reliable receivers in the Seattle Sea Dragons offense. His routes are crisp. I mean, he went on Destroying's channel and won all of his one-on-ones basically. This guy has hands. And while having hands is nice, it's also nice having blistering fast speed. And I really believe his time of 4.28 seconds, he may not have tested the best in the combine, but when you watch him play, he plays fast. I think he offers great depth at the returning position behind Ray McCloud. He also should look to push to try to make an impact on this team. Kyle Shanahan clearly wants a quick receiver that can burn on the outside, and if it's Jacour Peterson, the one doing that, I don't think Shanahan would mind. Ultimately though, I think the 49ers are in a great position in the wide receiver room. They have a ton of talent there, and they continue to add to it. Every year, I think I'm a little bit more shocked on who the 49ers pick up during this undrafted and late rounds because it seems like they're getting better to me. But those are just my thoughts on Jacour Peterson coming in to try out for the 49ers. And I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. It would also mean a ton to me if you guys subscribe. Thank you guys so much for all the support. It means a ton to me.